Yesterday, I was on an awesome Spaces with the folks at the Hashgraph Online working group that are developing Hashinals. And it looks like Defiance has launched the first dynamic Hashinal, which is basically a Hashinal is just on-chain or on-graph images or videos or any other type of asset inscribed directly on Hedera. So very similar to what's happening on Bitcoin on Hedera, but it's dynamic. So the NFTs can update after the fact. So if you're interested in those developments, check that out. They did a drop, and these are NFTs that'll update in your wallet. And this is ahead of HIP 657 arriving on Hedera, which is due for, I guess, May now. So this is exciting stuff. And again, this is a little bit of a paradigm shift in NFTs and these different types of things on Hedera, just having them be completely on chain. So huge shout out to that group. That was and for details, I don't know if they recorded it. I don't know if they did, but there's also a great Spaces yesterday too. So go check that out. Also, HashPack, big update from HashPack regarding Pack token. And this grabbed my attention. As many of you, I am also excited about projects doing some new things in the ecosystem, especially when it comes to incentives and just encouraging people to utilize the network, rewarding people for utilizing the network. We talked last episode, I did a deep dive on Pack token. So go and check that out, episode 121. There's a clip on YouTube and on X as well. Go check it out. Just search like itsbrandond Pack token or whatever. There's a good breakdown. But HashPack has posted a new update just hours ago regarding Pack token that I think is pleasantly surprising to hear. So basically, the TLDR on this is HashPack is currently in conversations with multiple exchanges to list Pack tokens. So when this was announced, it was really just kind of a handful of, I think it was like Saucer Swap, something else, maybe something else. I get the sense that this initiative and this launch, because of the attention it's getting, and also I think the added attention that the ecosystem is getting, changing plans, switching it up to capture more opportunity. So they're basically talking, it sounds like more exchanges, and they want to do a bit more of a coordinated launch. That's what it really comes down to. And they're looking to see the airdrop, the centralized exchange listing, and the decentralized exchange listing happen simultaneously. So that's very interesting. And then in regards to the rest of it, nothing's changed. Everything outlined in the white paper is still going ahead as planned. And basically the airdrop, the snapshot, the listings, all that kind of stuff shifted back a few weeks. So they're going to provide plenty of notice, but that's the update from HashPack. I know my initial response was like, no, it's delayed, but actually it's not really delayed. I think we're going to see this with projects. I mean, this is a great sign as this ecosystem grows and as new opportunities present themselves. What are these projects going to be doing to take advantage of that opportunity? Quick pivots, all that good stuff. Another quick mention, on Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, I'm going to be hosting a panel focused on music NFTs on Hedera, how musicians in the music industry will onboard to Hedera, and also the new music metadata standards, HIP 920, that I've been working on with the Hashgraph NFT working group. Incredible stuff. And the HBAR Foundry has been so gracious to host a live video panel for us, which I'll be hosting with guests, including Patches from Turtle Moon, Andrew from Tune FM, Vicente from Vicizi, and Pluto from HashPack. Again, people that worked on this music metadata HIP. Lots of good stuff to chat about on that. And again, that's HBAR Foundry, Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, live on YouTube, LinkedIn, I think too. I mean, we're going global with this stuff. And by the way, this thumbnail, you can't see it on the Twitter space, but the thumbnail that was put together for this is just glorious. Like, look at these guys. Just a couple legends. Okay, so moving on here again, just blasting through a couple items. And this kind of is leading us into the BlackRock story. We're starting into the juicy stuff now. So I appreciate everyone tuning in. We're starting into the juicy stuff now. So there's been a couple, like with this BlackRock stuff, there's been a couple things leading up to it. And then also like there's things that happen because of it that are just interesting to see as well. Especially when a network gets more attention. Most notably or most obviously is social engagement, social metrics. Lunar Crush, which is kind of the authority on social engagement and market sentiment for the crypto space, noted that hedera, for the tag HBAR, social interactions as of yesterday at 3:33 p.m., they've gone up 111% and the price was up 37%. So obviously that's drastically increased, but we could say that there's been, from these numbers extrapolating off of that and basically what I'm seeing on social media right now, you could safely say there's been a 5x, 10x, maybe even higher in just social engagement awareness. In Hedera, I'm seeing HBAR trending on X as well. So that's big. But more so than that even, what we're also seeing is some other interesting things, such as the Google search trends for HBAR. We're also seeing that hockey stick as well. If you go to Google Trends and you search HBAR, you're going to see a chart that looks very similar to the price of HBAR yesterday. It's all these different types of things that really start to paint a bit of a picture as we zero in on the BlackRock news, which is looking at it as somebody that knows nothing about Hedera, nothing about HBAR, and is just kind of seeing things going on from the outside. What you're seeing is real numbers, right? You're seeing real interest. And that's reflected in this data, right? The interest in Hedera HBAR has gone up substantially in the last 24 hours, which is great to see. But with that interest, as I was talking about last episode, it brings some flies, it brings some interesting characters, which we'll talk about. And I think the most fascinating number to look at that I think is, of course, like there's price, right? We've all been looking at the price of HBAR, and we'll take a look as well. But the most interesting number for me, at least, I shared this to X just maybe an hour or so ago, which was the volume of HBAR, right? Not so much just the price of what an HBAR is, but how much trading is happening. And for reference, back in 2021, back in the major bull run where Hedera saw that ride up to 40, 50 cents, right? The volume on that move was $500 million, $1 billion, right? You could look at it a 24-hour volume, which is substantial. That's substantial volume. And you could consider roughly $1 billion of volume 24-hour wise. That is what we would consider like an all-time high for Hedera until now. Yesterday, in this 24-hour period, we've seen a 5,405% increase in volume on HBAR, leading us to a volume in the last 24 hours of $3.5 billion. So a 3x over the previous all-time high in volume. And volume is important because when we see price moves, if there isn't volume to back up a price move in an asset, you really don't know what could happen with it. There's not a lot of strength. But with this increased volume, it's showing again, these numbers are all starting to add up and paint a much more solid picture. And then, of course, I mean, we can look at the price of HBAR. I'm pretty sure everyone's been glued to the price of HBAR. But let's take a quick little look here because it's been interesting, right? Considering everything that we're going to talk about, it's been interesting. Another very important number to keep in mind is Hedera was in, I believe, the 39th spot at the beginning of the week on CoinMarketCap and rode its way all the way to the 21st spot in market cap. And those are important numbers in CoinMarketCap. It shows the list. Also, HBAR reached the top 3 in regards to price appreciation in a period. So HBAR really kind of entered into that kind of like hot trending asset space on CoinMarketCap and other kind of aggregators and websites. And if we look at the price action, what you can see here is over the day, maybe I can go a little bigger here. So right what we've got here, and for people listening on the Twitter Spaces, the recording will have my computer screen and everything. But what we see here is like over the last, like you could say, month, we've seen a little bit of a ride down from double digits, and then over the last week we've just been chilling at 7, 8, 9 cents. News drops, and we see hedera HBAR ride up to the double digits, up to almost 20 cents US. And so that move was a very strong move, again, because we're talking about volume. And if we zoom in a little more here, then you see a ride down from that 18 cent range, and we're coming back, and we're now testing the 12, 13 cents range, which historically has been a major kind of area of resistance and support for HBAR over the years, that 13 cent area. So it's a healthy place to be if we're seeing any consolidation. Now, what's interesting is with these price moves, volume hasn't really relented. Volume is only slowly increasing. So it means that there's a lot of money flowing through HBAR right now, right? If we look at, let's set a baseline. If we look at a baseline, hedera on an average day over this year, you could say has $50 to $100 million per day moving through it, right? And it's been that way for a year pretty much. And again, putting it further into context, this last day, we've gone from an average of $50 to $100 million to $3.5 billion in volume. That can't be understated how important that number is. Right now, it's almost more important than price. Because what it shows is as price kind of rides down and retests that support, there's volume there, which means that this is an accumulation phase for HBAR.